Hello guys, today in this tutorial I will be showing you a PHP script which will be able to log in with Google or log out as well. It's a OAuth2 script. So if I go to the home page of my application localhost Google login, it will redirect me to this login screen where I can select my Google account here. And this is the same authorization flow, guys. If you select this account and we will generate an authorization code, and then we will exchange that authorization code using a access token, and we will be storing that access token in the session. So all these things will be doing it in the background. If I select my account, you will now see it will redirect me to the profile page, and we basically have this authorization code and we have exchanged it with the access token. With the help of the access token, guys, we are displaying the email of the person, we are displaying the profile picture, and we also have this logout button, guys. So if I press this logout button, guys, what will happen? I will revoke the access here. The access token in the session will be deleted, and the revoke access, once again you will be redirected back to the login page. Once again you need to select your account, and once again like this. And now if I close this window, guys, as you will see in the session, it is stored, the access token is saved. So once again, if you open the application, it will redirect you to the profile page. You no longer have to select the account. So but if you basically log out here, you clear out the session, and now if you open the application, you will once again need to grant access. So if you now go localhost Google login, you will now see once again you will be able to log in here. You will see that the same goes for every account, guys. So I can do it for any account. So once again we need to select your account, and once again it will display the same information like this. So this is basically, we have developed it inside PHP, guys, and we are using cURL. cURL, if you don't know, guys, it's a way to basically send out HTTP request inside. It's a command line tool, but we are using it inside PHP. So it's a computer software project. It's open source for transferring data over the HTTP or URL. So we will be making use of this. So all the source code, guys, I have given in the description. You can basically purchase the full source code. I will write this source code step by step. So now, first of all, guys, just create your index.php file inside your root directory. And we are having exam control panel running inside. You will see Apache server running on localhost 80 here, right here. And after this, guys, you just need to make the PHP tag right here. We are not using any sort of SDK, guys. We are writing pure PHP code right here. And for this, first of all, we need to start the session right here at the top. So we will invoke this method in order to start the session. And then, guys, we do need these three variables, which is the client ID, client secret, and the redirect URI. So all these three information, guys, you will be getting it from Google Cloud Console. Let me show you how you can basically get this information. So just type here Google Cloud Console, and you should have an account inside that. After you do this, click on go to console, and once you are redirected to, you go to your API services and go to credentials. And here, guys, you need to make your credentials. Click on that OAuth client ID, and basically here select here web application, and then you need to provide authorization JavaScript origins. So here, guys, you need, if you are developing it on localhost, you just need to provide here HTTP localhost, and then you just need to provide your redirect URI. So basically this is my directory structure. I am there inside my Google login folder. So whatever is your redirect URI, if it is your own website, you can put your own website as well, but this is my redirect URI. Here you will see Google login. So just put this right here, and after that you will get your client ID, client secret. So you just need to put right here, that's all. So after that, guys, we do also need the token revocation. So if you want to log out the user, you do need this URL token revocation, and with the help of this you will be able to delete the access token or revoke the access so that the user will be log out completely. So this is the URL, guys. Now guys, what we will say, basically we will redirect the user if the code is not present. So here we will use basically the isSet method of PHP, and here we will simply get $get, and if the code variable is not present in the URL, it is simply saying that just put a semicolon, guys, after each line in PHP. So we will say that we need to uh, redirect user. Let me just show you. Let me execute this code right here. So what will happen, guys, it will say in the URL, if the access code is not present, then it will print out this statement. So what will happen now, if you go to your application localhost Google login, so it will echo out this line right here. But if I provide the code variable right here, let's suppose if the code is available, I think like this, I think this needs to be a question mark here. Code is equal to 45. So now you can see nothing will be printed out because we have this code right here. So this function simply check for this code right here. We can also have a else block here. Code is present. So you will now see parse syntax error. Let me see. Oh, sorry, semicolon needs to be there. You will see code is present. So I need to explain each line of code, guys, what this line of code is doing. So basically it is checking for this uh, code variable. It can be anything. You can change this also. Let's suppose a parameter, param. I think if you're a PHP developer, you will be knowing this function. You can even replace your params. You need to change it here. So if this parameter is present right here, then also it will print out the same statement. If it is not present, then it will say we need to redirect users. So simply we are checking this parameter, guys, which is the authorization code. So if this code is not present, we need to redirect the user. So now what we can do right here, we can basically build out this authorization URL. So where we can say that authorization URL. So here basically this will be the login screen, accounts.google.com/o/OAuth2 slash version 2 auth. This is a URL, and here we will pass the parameters, guys. This will be a simple array, and this will be response type, and here we need to have the authorization code. So we will say that response type will be code, and the client ID will be the client ID that we will use, guys. We have stored this inside the variable, and the redirect underscore URI, guys. So redirect URI will be the redirect URI that we stored. And we also need to provide the scope, guys. So scope is nothing but what sort of information that you want to take from the Google API. So we need this two scopes, guys, for the email address and the profile pictures. So we need these scopes. So googleapis.com/auth user info. This is the first scope, and it basically contains a profile, user info dot profile. So we need to fetch the profile of the person, and then you need to provide a space, guys, I think, in order to provide multiple. Yeah, you do need to provide a space here in order to separate different scopes right here. HTTPS Google apis.com/auth/userinfo.email. That's all. So that's all, guys. These are the information parameters that we will be passing to this authorization URL. So just put a semicolon, and now we will use the header function inside PHP, guys. So what we will say is that we will say that location, and then we will concatenate this authorization URL, and we will put a basically question mark, and then we will concatenate this HTTP build query. We will use this method, guys, of PHP. Basically it allows you to pass parameters alongside with the URL. So you can see that, guys. So we are redirecting the user to this URL alongside passing these parameters. So just put a semicolon right here after this line and exit out the program. That's all. So now, guys, what will happen if you refresh the application? If you go to it, the code is not present, and It is saying that the requested URL was not found on the server. Let me check. I think guys we have put some wrong information right here. Let me check. Question mark. I have given the code in the description guys, so you can just copy the code. Sometimes in the writing of the code mistakes can happen. Let me paste this code once again. So if you refresh now guys, what will happen? You will see the code will be there. This is basically the code here. The code will automatically gets generated. You will see that. Let me again go to here. Localhost Google login. So you will be redirected to a screen guys. You will see that you need to select your account. So let me select my account here. So as I select this account guys, you will see in the address bar our access code is generated. You will see question mark code is equal to. So this is basically the authorization code guys. So now we need to basically exchange this authorization code with the access token. Access token guys basically lets you use the any Google API. Access token grants you that access. So now we need to basically store this access token. So just after this line, we will basically create a variable which will be access token URL. And now we will have this authorization code. So the URL for having the access token is this URL guys, OAuth2 googleapis.com/token. And here we will basically again use the same formula array. We will basically this time we will pass the code. We can get this using $get code, and then we will say the client ID. We will pass the client ID as well. This time we also need to pass the client secret in order to get the access token, and then we need to pass our redirect URI. And the last parameter is grant type guys, which will be authorization code. That's all. So this is basically the parameters guys we need to pass, and once again now we need to redirect the user, and this time we will use curl library guys, ch, and we will initialize the curl library. This is pre-built inside PHP, so we don't need to install any sort of or download any sort of package. So curl init will basically initialize the curl request, and now we can use these curl set option. These are the methods, and here we will basically pass the variables curl opt URL, and the URL will be simply this URL, access token URL. We are passing this URL right here using curl, using this option, and we will once again use this method set option, and here this will be a post request, so we will say that call opt post and to true. So basically it's a not a get request, it's a post request. We are passing information. So now once again we will use the same method curl set option, and here we will basically provide the post fields, and here we will once again use HTTP build query, and we will basically pass the parameters like this. And now guys, after doing this, we need to say curl opt return transfer. So this is slightly complicated course guys. If you don't studied curl about, you will nothing understand about this, but you need to write this code. After you do this, the response will come guys. This basically contains a curl execute method which will execute the request, and then you can close the connection, curl close, like this. This is basically the code guys for exchanging the access token. Now we can store this access token inside a variable access token data. We can decode the response by using JSON decode, and then we can pass the response which has come and pass true variable like this. And here we will simply say we can echo out the access token. So the access token is present inside this property, guys, which is this is basically the response access token data, and it contains a property access token. That's all. Just put a semicolon, and this will be our access token, guys. So if you now refresh your application, localhost Google login, so it is saying undefined variable response. Sorry, yeah, I think response. Sorry, this needs to be response. Undefined array key access token. Let me echo out this access token data variable. So now you can see that, guys, it's an array here. You will see that it's an array to string conversion. So we are getting this array right here. So it's a response here, access token data response. So what we can do is that we can have a if condition here. If is set, and here we can compare if basically this access token data contains this access token or not. So if this access token is there, in that case, we will store it inside the session variable. So we will create a session variable of access token, and inside this we will store this. So this is basically contained inside. You will see that we are storing it, this access token, and then we can echo out, I think we can echo out session variable of let me try a different account here, localhost Google login. So once again, grant the access. After you grant the access, guys, now you will see this is your access token. So this access token, I think, will last for 1 hour, 3600 seconds. So with this help of access token, you can access any Google API. You can basically upload to Google Drive, upload to YouTube, or you can grant access to the profile information. So now how we can get the profile information of the user after we store this inside our session variable. So this is very easy, guys. Now to retrieve the user info, we will basically again say user info URL. We will basically construct a URL. This will be https google apis.com slash OAuth2 slash version1 slash user info, and you will see we will basically pass this access token as a argument. So we will say question mark access token, and here we will put dot, and then we will say provide the session variable access token. That's all. Put a semicolon. So now we will basically again use curl here. We will initialize curl in it, and then we will say curl set option. This will be a simple basically request, guys. So let me just refresh, copy this code. You can get this code in the description, purchase it. So basically, guys, you will see that this is slightly complicated code here, and we are basically sending the request here, and we are displaying this name, email, profile picture, and a logout button as well. So if you now refresh your application, if you see localhost Google login, so now you can see this is your name of the person. Welcome. We have this authorization code. We exchange it for the access token, and with the help of access token, we are retrieving the user info, which is the name of the person, the email of the person, the profile picture, and we also have this logout button. So if you click this logout button, guys, it will basically make a request to the revocation URL. We haven't made this request. So now how we can do this? It's very simple. We do need to basically go upwards here. We can even add a else block right here, guys. We can echo out error retrieving access token. Just for if the access token is not generated, then you can add a else block here. And basically now guys, if you see, we have this logout button, and if you click this logout button, question mark logout. So basically here we will add a if condition here if the logout button has been pressed. So how we can do that? It's very simple. Basically we will have a if condition. We will again use isSet method, and we will say $get if the logout parameter is there guys inside the get request. So we will perfectly know that it's a logout request. We need to remove the access token from the session. We will say we will store the access token from the session here. We will retrieve it access token from the session like this. So after this guys, we will simply compare if the access token does exist. In that case, we will basically have the revoke parameters, and this time we will simply pass the access token, the token which will be there. And then we will initialize another this request guys, which is called request for requesting to revoke the access to the URL that we initialize. This is the revoke URL guys. You will see https OAuth2 googleapis.com/revoke, and here we are passing the access token because we need to revoke the access. We need to remove the user we need to log out the user. So we are, after doing this guys, we can destroy our session data as well. We can say that session underscore destroy, and then we can redirect the user back to the home page, which was location http localhost Google login semicolon. That's all guys. This is all that we need to do inside this. So exit. So once again, if you, I think, let me do it now. This is, if you open this now, the information is stored inside of a session, the access token. So if you open once again, it will redirect you to the profile page. But if you now click logout button guys, you will be redirected to the home page. Nothing happens. Let me see what happened. Let me take a brand new account guys, localhost Google login. You will see that click logout, nothing happens. The link is given in the description guys. I think I made a mistake in writing this code right here. Let me paste this code right here. Simply copy paste it. Sometimes error can take place. So this is the script guys. You will see that the code is there. Simply you need to replace your client ID, client secret, and redirect URI. So now if I basically execute this code, localhost/Google login, click logout, you will be redirected to the home page. You will see that guys. Again, you select your account, you will see that. So now if you go to the home page, you will be seeing this screen because you are logged out. We have revoked the access of access token. You will see that. But if you grant the access here, you will be, if you now go to the home page, it is saved inside our session variable. So now if you open once again, it will redirect back to the home page. So this is the call. We have used call guys in order to send HTTP request to the Google API in order to retrieve the access token and the authorization code. And we have stored the access token inside sessions inside PHP. This is a full Google login and logout script. If you still want this script, you can go to the description of the video and purchase the full script from stripe.com, and after that you will get a zip file. You will get this whole PHP code right here. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will be seeing you in the next tutorial.